Well, out with the rooster, in with the dog. We're approaching Lunar New Year, and for much of the world, it's time for huge, elaborate celebrations. And one of the many celebrating in British Columbia is Toishan. He lives in Richmond. But before he celebrated in Canada, he celebrated with his family in rural China in the 30s, 1930s, and 1940s, and fondly remembers the traditions and the decorations and the smell of his mother's cooking. She made one thing which was considered to be the best of any made around the village. Recently, Toishan stopped by the North by Northwest studio to talk about the time of celebration long ago.
Remembering the happy times during my boyhood in China and all the fun we had during the year. We had chicken no more than 4 or 5 times a year. So whenever it's a festival, I always get a drumstick.
So that was a highlight, getting a drumstick.
That's right. And all the pastries and the cakes that my mother made, I was always up about 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and help her because I had to tend the fire because we had used rice straws or grasses or bushes for fuel.
So you were there feeding the fire to keep it going.
I had to sitting by the fire, although the end of the time of the year. It's not like rain or snow and anything like that freezing, but still maybe about 5, 6, 7 degrees above zero. And sitting by the fire is still pretty chilly. So I get hungry. So whenever my mother finished steaming the cakes and stuff like that, I was the first one to taste them.
And you felt you were due.
So that's my reward. So it's a good time. And of course, firecrackers and all the line dance and all the celebration in the village was a good time.
How? Tell me about what kind of special things your mom would be cooking while you were helping to feed the fire.
Oh, the most important thing is called fat tea. So fat tea means open up, develop pastry. So my mother's, I think at the time, well known for making the best one in town and around the village.
Now you have brought in a sample of this kind of a delicacy here, haven't you?
Yeah, a fat tea. Yeah.
And it looks like a flower. It looks like a flower that's just gone wide open and like a little cake.
Yeah, because they use baking powder now, but at the time my mother used yeast and baking powder combination, I think.
Right.
And this one is made of wheat flour, whereas my mother made was rice flour with brown sugar.
Rice flour and brown sugar.
Yeah, so it's sort of like a light brown color, but this one is white. It's a wheat flour. So
it smells really nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays, at the time, everything had to be made ourselves. But now you can buy in store. You don't have to do that anymore. We don't have to do that anymore.
Did you even have to make the flour?
Oh yeah. Oh, everything's like the lunar calendar. Everything is related to farming, and then when we harvested the rice, we had to take the husk off the rice, use a mill. I had to help to push the mill around to take the husk off the rice, and then in order to make rice flour, we had to do the same thing, put the rice into that mortar. I and my sister helped to get the rice flour.
What a procedure.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how my mother did it. She is all little over 5 foot tall.
Huh.
And she did all that work. She looking after 3 children, she helped with the growing the rice, growing vegetables, growing all kind of farming. Day and night, I don't know how she did it.
Now, how you were saying that she was really well known for making the, do you say?
The fat tea.
Fat tea.
Yeah.
She was really well known for making
she always got the one that open up and and really rise up and then open up like that. And then most of our relatives are poor, especially like my father's 2 sisters. they are really poor. And then my mother's sister, during New Year's, my mother made all this party and took them to all the relatives. So she made a lot of them.
And then she'd travel around the countryside
and then
delivering.
I had to go with her.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we always take the chicken, a live chicken, some cooked pork, and of course tangerines for good omen, and took them to their place. And the father's sister, one time, and she killed a chicken and cooked it, and then she took some and gave us the rest to take home. So it was a lot of walking, but I really enjoyed going around visiting the relatives.
Just the excitement of that time of year.
Oh yeah.
Now, how when I think of Lunar New Year now, I just think of so much beautiful decoration, right? Lanterns and red decorations and all kinds of things hanging. What was it like in the village? Were there many decorations?
In the ancestral hall, there's decorations. There are lanterns hang up in under the ceiling. Sometimes there are many lanterns, because all the baby boys that were born during the year, each one would have a lantern hanging in the hall, and they would have the baby boys' birthday, the time he was born, and all that, and the name on that. They put there on New Year's Eve, and then let them hang there for 10 days. So the halls all decorated, and at the same time, men that were married during the year would have a marriage title written on a large piece of red paper and pasted on the walls in the building, in the hall. So and after that, the marriage title was put on the wall, and they were recorded on all the family history books.
Okay, that was the official time it was recorded.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it was a good custom, because then whenever you saw the person's marriage title, right away you know what generation he belonged to.
This is my conversation with Howe Chan, and Howe is a Richmond resident, reminiscing about Lunar New Year celebrations of his childhood in the 30s and the 40s in rural China. Howe and I first became acquainted when he started emailing the account with delightful stories about his boyhood. And when I asked Howe more about his memory of celebrations, he told me about his family's lack of wealth. Everything they had, they made. The places they traveled to, they walked. And here's Howe again telling me how his village celebrated New Year, and particularly about the lion dance. In your village, did you have the lion dances that we see in the parade?
We didn't. So we couldn't afford it, because a lion dance, you have to go maybe a dozen members, and then have an instructor to teach them how to do the lion dance and kung fu and all that. So in all the uniforms and the gongs and the drums and the lion itself, we couldn't afford, so we didn't have it. But the lion dance troops from other villages would sometimes come over to our village.
Okay.
Or of course they send a notice to us, and, to the elders, and then if we accept, then they'll come over during the New Year's festival and go around doing a lion dance and all that. And then, well, of course, we have to pay them, and whoever they do a dance in front of the house, then the owner of the house had to give them a certain amount of money or whatever material. So it was good. Once in a while, we do have a lion dance in our village. But in some villages, they really have a big do. Like my mother's home village, which is about 2-3 miles from ours, they have a lot of common property in the village. Not only they have a banquet, they have give away pork to every member of the village, and even have a Cantonese opera came over to the village
For Lunar New Year.
Yeah, to I think maybe about 3 or 4 nights. I know that because when my mother's a Cantonese opera fan. So whenever this New Year's and the Cantonese operas in operation, she would carry me on her back and walk to her home village and watch the show during the night.
And would you go to the opera with her?
I do. I did, but I enjoy it not because of the opera. I did learn a little bit music, but I enjoy it because of candies and all kind of treats that I did have. So I enjoy that. Even from then on, I even learned a few tunes.
From opera?
Yeah, probably. It was fun. It was a little.
What a thing, like you say, she carried you over on her back.
Yeah.
Now, what do you do now? What do you do here?
Oh, then, of course, we enjoy the food, all the pastries or the cakes and making, and of course, on New Year's Eve is the most important thing. It's something like a Christmas Eve. So family get together and have a good banquet and all the good food for the New Year's Eve. But New Year's Day is a vegetarian day.
Oh.
So on New Year's Day, we have all the cakes and stuff like that. But mostly vegetables. We have fish. We can buy fresh fish. We would have a fried days fish. I think always days. I don't know why they use that fish, but if we couldn't get fresh fish, then we have salted fish. We always fish for the day. That means you could have a good year, good life during the year, the coming year. So fish is always available on New Year's Day, although it's vegetarian, but fish, we could eat fish.
So how this is such a grand time of year.
Yeah. But like I said, I reminisce about it because now at that time we had to make everything by ourselves. But now you can get everything in the store. You don't have to make them anymore.
The stores are filled right now.
The Chinese supermarket is just full of stuff. It's all kind of treats and sweets and of course they have the tangerine. I think it's called tangerine. It's called git. They have some leaves with it, but leaves. The tangerine have leaves. It's a good omen, a good lucky omen. So, but they're kind of expensive, about $3 or $4 a pound now. Then.
Right. How I want to say a long life and good health to you, good fortune.
Thank you very much.
Con hay phát chối.
Same to you. Con hay phát thổi. In my dialect, now you're saying in Cantonese,
okay.
I'm saying my Toishan dialect is con hay phát thổi.
Con hay phát thổi.
Yeah.
That's Howe Chan, and this year at age 82, he'll be celebrating Lunar New Year at home in Richmond. And those are some of his memories of celebrating with his family when he was young in rural China in the 1930s and 40s. This year, New Year lands on February 16th, and love to know how you're going to be celebrating. What are you looking forward to most? Who's coming home? What are you going to be eating? Let us know, and the best way to get in touch, as always, is nxnw@cbc.ca. Love to see your photos, too, of Lunar New Year celebrations, past or sooner. You can always email those as well, or you can post them on the Facebook page.